Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Thursday morning. Man, we're going to have a beautiful day today. It's going to get up to 70, and the low is going to be 51. And the wind's going to be coming real shallow at like about 5 miles an hour. So what a great day we're going to have in the next couple of days. So enjoy them if you can in outdoors. And if you work, just try to get outside and just breathe some good, cool, fresh air. Water temperature, check this out. We're at a 62.1 at the pier. That's the coolest it's been. I've just got an email yesterday, and I'll go ahead and mention it. I try to read on air, but guys, there's some manatees up at the eastern, at the bridge up in North Bay at the northeast corner, and there's a big group of them. And I know what has happened now with this water temperature. They're probably trapped up in there. And if you remember a couple of years ago, I was on Deer Point Dam coming home, and I saw all kind of activity. And it was the FWC capturing one of the manatees to get them out of that cold water. And I bet they're going to do it again this year because it just really got down to what happened. They normally want to go upriver and just get warm and all into the springs, and the dam has stopped them. So we'll follow those later on. I'll find an email for you. But let's move on. Our river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do, especially today. The Apalachicola Plunge-Town is at a 9.7, pretty steady there. Got a little bit of drop. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville has it a 5.8. Both of them got a little bit of a drop to it. Not a lot of motion. Tide chart today brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today is December the 10th, and we just don't have any tide today. We got a deep tide. Tomorrow we got a good incoming tide, and Saturday a really strong incoming tide. So we'll have go ahead and work next day or two, but Saturday afternoon you got some good tides. All right, the wind's coming out of the west-southwest at about 5. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We got a lot of good pictures, and let's take this one right here. Our very first one is my buddy Jerry Register, who right now, as we speak, is in a tree stand up there in southwest Georgia, getting ready to get him another big buck. But this particular one, this is his son. This is his daughter-in-law, his son Mark's wife. Got this 8-point late Saturday afternoon. All the rest of us saw small ones, but good job, Carrie. Nice buck. And they've had a banner year up there at Jerry's camp. So good job, Jerry Register. Now let's jump into fishing. My buddy Caleb Pitts, he said some days are bad, some days are good. Today was good. What do you think? Remember last week when it was so calm, one or two of those days? Good job, Caleb. And he's a good fisherman. He's a fine one. Another good fisherman, Jack Simmons. Jack's been on the show before a good while back, and he's doing a lot of fishing now. Team Simmons, they call it. His son Jonathan. That is a nice group. It looks like they went out the same day, don't it? Good job, Jack Simmons. Here he is right here with 2 more. He's happy. He was building him a boat one time. I wonder if he got it finished. All right, now listen, I'm going to show you a series of pictures. This is in this is not the Panhandle, Lake Apopka. Now, that's not too far from Orlando, sort of southwest. Okay, a great blue heron eating a juvenile gator. Now, is that not cool? Now, I have a series of pictures. They just clicked away, and actually, as the heron would turn around at times. So here we go. I'm going to do that one. All right, check it out. So you know how they work. I was watching a heron yesterday at the end of my dock. So he's getting a good grip on them. Now, it's amazing. You're talking about nature, real nature right here. That's the other side. He sort of walked around, and you see how the sun angle has changed. All right, got him in the mouth. Is that amazing? All right, and look at that. He's already swallowed him some, and then he throws his head back and gets him on down. All right, look at there. That's truly remarkable to see that. And that's some great. You're talking about great outdoor photography. That is cool. And here it is right here. Now, you know, they didn't get a picture of him extending his neck. I don't have that picture, but they took all kinds of pictures. But how in the world, do they digest that? Anyway, move on. my buddies out of the Suber family, all the guys, my good old high school buddy, I go quail hunting with up there. Grew up with Jimmy Suber. This is his family. They say, oh, Soapstone Hunting Club. Jimmy and his daddy were members of it 100 years ago, probably. It's a Willacoochee Creek Hunting Club. There's two groups together. There's a great turnout, lots of kids. I blew it up a little bit. Isn't that a great picture? Remember Youth Day we just had this past Saturday, and getting all these kids out in the woods, and they had a great time. But we're talking about a natural, beautiful area, girls and the boys. I got a couple of shots coming. They're running some beagles, and they're listening to the dogs. I know there's like Jimmy right there, and some of the grandkids, different sets of them, and this is Richard's wife. They went to Auburn. I don't know how they got away from FSU because the Subers are FSU people. And here we go. Teaching the son, now that's a little pump right there. Good job. And what do you do when you have some spare time? You get on that tailgate, you get your knife out and you whittle. This is a typical day in the woods. And then you're listening for them and it got them coming. And that's a pretty shot right there. I thought this was good to go along with what we just saw. Teaching children about the natural world should be treated as one of the most important events in their lives. One of the most, not the most important, but one of the most important events. All right, for you folks that have everything, and you're trying to find a special gift for your friend, this is a heated bird bath. I did not know they made heated bird baths. So Jeff, I may get you that for Christmas. That'd be good right there. A heated bird bath. I couldn't help but to show this. It's rare when all the planets are lined. I look like a busted old guys going to a ball game. I love this picture here. If you get on the river in cold weather, you know where you're coming from. This is when your dad said, "Hey Dad," they said, "Hey Dad, the wind is cutting. Let me get that jacket." So that's a dog jacket. Now, is that not cool? Now, I don't know if it's part life jacket or not. Of course, the dog's going to stay afloat, just naturally. But I just thought that was a great picture. And he got it back to the wind. Okay, my buddy Elliot Melvin. Elliot's been on the show before. He said, "I finally got one worth taking a picture of." Good job, Elliot. Been at Joe Melvin and the company. Listen, y'all don't like me to show a picture, but this past Saturday we went up to my granddad's place, and just the two of us, and we just had a good time. We just enjoyed it, flat out enjoyed it. This was us having lunch, and I'll tell you about eating my beanie weenies on the tailgate. Well, Gail brought a tablecloth to put on the tailgate. But anyway, there's my beanie weenies right there. And I had some Viennas in the background. Of course, she had a salad, and she ate her salad, and I ate the orange and all. But anyway, this up at my granddad's, and we just had a great time. The weather was beautiful, and had a very enjoyable day, getting food out to feed the bears. Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I have one more set of pictures to show you because they're close to me too, because I want y'all to realize what our sponsors, we have a lot of our sponsors who are outdoor people and the Los Angejitos crew. Check this out. This is Minta and Matt and their two boys up on a dove shoot. And is that not a great picture? So next time, that's a great picture. Two boys, they're grown now. Goodness gracious, they were little last year. And here's one of Minta at the Moccasin Creek Farm. So next time you go to Los Angejitos, tell Minta that you saw her with that gun at a dove shoot with her dog and her family. So good for you, Minta. Now this is great. Minta did not grow up a hunter. I knew when she was growing up. She grew up over there in North Shore. But she just always had a big smile and was willing to go along with what the crowd was doing and good things and all. And I knew once she married Matt Harbison, who was outdoor family, that she was going to swing into a hunter, and she did, and raised those boys doing some outdoor stuff. Let's end on this one right here. If you're looking for a good hunting dog, here's a hunting dog for sale. He don't retrieve the dogs; he just walks them up there to you. Okay, one thing too. I was checking on the Panthers. We're going into something else now. I saw a Panther report of a 2-year-old panther was killed in an automobile. He got hit by a car. It was in Henry County, which is that area down there where they all are. That was the 17th panther, that was the 20th panther killed this year. That was the 17th. 17 of them were killed by a car collision or truck collision. So you can see that it makes a dent in them. I checked the population. I went on the panther page, and there's roughly 230 panthers still in that area. So that's good. But you're losing 20 a year. That's 10% just to losing them to accidents and all. So. I don't know the solution to it, and I think I haven't read this, if they will do a study, they'll find that a lot of them are going to be the young ones, just sort of like that 2-year-old there, just sort of just taking off across the road and not doing any better, and so anyway, just wanted to share that with you about the panthers. Duck season opens this weekend, December the 12th, and it's going to go to January 31st, and I'll be, we had a little short one a couple of days during Thanksgiving, but now the season opens up. Now with this cool weather we've had, I am anticipating some really good duck shoots up in Lake Seminole, over on Choctawhatchee Bay, definitely Apalachicola Bay, and of course the lakes and ponds. And I know I'll be listening Saturday morning for the Deer Point Lake shootout, and I haven't seen as many ducks lately, but flying over my house, but I know they're out there. Also, dove season, the third phase of dove season opens up the next Saturday, which will be the 19th. And again, this cool air is bringing in the migratory birds. If you remember the picture I showed you the other day of those dove, those 23 dove in my yard at my feeder, okay? And also, I want to mention, speaking of birds, I was watching, I had my feeder up and I throw, I'll call it scratch food. That's what the chickens used to eat, but the birds love it. I just saw an interesting natural phenomenon I want to share with you. It was 2 days ago. I had a group of birds on the ground feeding, and a larger bird flew over. And of course, they'll just sense that, and they just took off, all except one. And one of them stayed, like if this was right here, that one was close to a bush, like this was a dove right here, and it was really neat to watch it. All the birds took off like that, and that dove sort of went right on that bush and just squatted and just froze. And what I was watching was a natural defense mechanism, and what they realized in an instant, they couldn't get away from that limb, get cleared fast enough to get away from what was after them. So he just, squatted and went down like that. So I just thought that was cool. Also, on another note, I think I may have it here. I saw this the other day, and it made me sad. It was about some two teenage boys out duck hunting, and they went missing. This is over Mississippi now, around Vicksburg. Search for missing hunter switches back to Mississippi. I followed this. And with these two boys here, one's 21 and one's 16, and I just had some. I want to share some pictures. The search continues. This actually happened about 4 or 5 days ago, and they still haven't found them. It's interesting what they hunted the land. They searched the land first. They thought they might have fell out and into the land, and it's still. They've had an extensive hunt, and the TV stations have covered all over there, but. And let's see, well, here's the story. The story, there still is exhausted, continued hunting for 2 duck hunters on the Mississippi River, 16 and 21-year-old. And, the first thing they started searching on land because they figured they found the boat, they found some vest and some other paraphernalia there on the boat. And the guys were actually scouting. The season had quite open. They were scouting another area. And when they found the boat, they thought they might have just, fell out and swam to land. So they quickly started searching land for like 2 days, and then they realized that they couldn't. They searched all the areas, little swamp islands and everything, and haven't found them. Then they started looking in the water, and that last I heard, they still have not found them. What I anticipated, you're probably going to get some bad news later. They're probably they may or may not find the bodies, but it doesn't look good now. But what I wanted to mention, the two things we always talk about, and that's why I like to insert real life things that happen. The two things we always talk about, that life jacket and that kill switch, are so important. and especially if you're moving along at a pretty good speed. And if they had open water, that's probably what they're doing, especially if they're out scouting. And it could have hit. Chances are, remember that Captain Roy about a year or two ago, they hit that stump, threw him out just like that. His life jacket went off. But always, especially in the wintertime, you don't think about it that much because you don't think it's going to happen. So always wear a life jacket and always wear that kill switch. Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. Our special times are 6:54 to 8:54 this morning and 7:20 to 8:20 this afternoon. Tammy Schumann, Zackrell, sent this in. Panther or Bobcat? What do y'all think? Panther or Bobcat? I say a Bobcat. This, I believe, down around the Howard Creek area. But thank you, Tammy, for that. Panther, Bobcat. So the tail gives it away. All right. Now listen, we're talking about our sponsors and everything, and Clay Patrick came on as one of our recent sponsors, and he specializes in farmland and hunting land. And I've talked to you about, if you get a chance, just get a few acres. I read a great story about a guy who just had 5 acres, but he killed a nice buck on it, but because he was in a path where to go back and forth. And he was just tickled with his 5 acres. Anyway, I ran across this. Here's some clay sold. It's 38.5 acres in Wicksburg, okay? That is a nice piece of property there. They sold. And then it said right here, he sold 20 acres near Bascom. Man, would it be nice to have 20 acres in Bascom? So get a hold of Clay if you're looking for any kind of hunting land. What's that, top of the page, 693-6610. But anyway, it's just good to... It's good to have someone we know and trust and can find you some land. Just tell them what you're looking for, and just try to get started on it, make some payments and all. Let's make some monthly payments. Don't buy a new truck. Buy you some land. Okay, as you all know, recently we lost one of our outdoor legends in broadcasting when we lost Red Holland this past week, and I found out, Scott Lindsay called me the last day and said he just heard that Red was probably not going to make it, and then got a call about 8 hours later, or the next morning, confirming that he didn't make it through the night. So we lost Red, and Red was just legendary. He was one of a kind, and I know most of y'all, almost every one of you out there watch this show, unless you've moved in the last couple of years, knew about Red Holland. It really, this show today wouldn't be on if Red Holland had planted a seed years ago on outdoor television locally and doing it on TV show. I actually put them in. I actually did 3 or 4 pages about outdoor riders and people that were just big and outdoor. This is Red Holland. This is a page I did on Red Holland. I'm sorry. Let me get back to that. The page I did on Red Holland, and there's a familiar picture of him. He and that phone. That's what kept him going. He had some great phone calls, and he just loved talking to people. But it started up there. Here, I just did a story. I did an interview with him, talked to him, and of course, I'd been on the show a couple of times. And he born and raised in Holmes County, right there in Bonifay. In fact, my daughter-in-law, mom, and Red were classmates. And he started in Webb, Alabama. Goes on to say he started at WTVY in Dothan, and did Outdoors in Red. Came down here, and it's a good story. He worked at WJSG live, and it had Outdoors in Red. Won an award. Look in the middle page right there. Won an award with the Southeastern Outdoor Press Association. That's my group that I'm in, and that's great. Master of Southern. He loved outdoors, and he said his 2 favorite people, his wife Beth and his mother Joy. He always talked about his mom on the show. But with that being said, we're going to tomorrow. Let me tell you this quick story. I'd had Red on the show, and I was trying to think it'd be nice if I could find the old DVD that Gail copied all my shows in the early days, and I couldn't remember when it was on. This is 2020, right? And we started the show like in, 06? But I knew it was in the early years, so that's one of the first things I wanted to do once I get settled in was to get old Red Holland on the show. Because I'd been on his show, and I called him up, got him to come on the show, and it was when we were doing it downtown, and Lee Sullivan did the show. Was it after hours, Jeff? Lee did the show after hours, so he was always, Lee Sullivan was on there behind the camera, and of course, I got ready to come on the show, and it is a, I knew it was a classic when I did it, but here I am, I haven't found it, I hadn't looked for it, really. So I told Gail, I said, we're up in the closet upstairs, I have all my DVDs stacked up year by year. And we just save stuff like that. I guess we just save stuff like that. And I said, what's the chance? Because now we do 260 shows a year, so we've done thousands of shows. And I said, I know it was in the early years, so I took all those stacks of DVDs in a case. I took them down one at a time, each case, and put them on the floor, bedroom floor. And I said, I know it's in here somewhere, and I had them all spread out. And I had them by the year, so I looked and I just started. The closest one to me was 2007. So I picked up the one in 2007, took the case off, and started going through them. The fifth one I looked at, Red Holland. What's the chance of that happening? I mean, so I knew it was destined to be. So I got in this morning, I talked to Jeff. Jeff's going to do some hard work and miracles, and what we're going to do, we're going to play this on tomorrow's show. That's going to be our show tomorrow. It is a classic. It is a classic of Red Holland because he tells the story of how it started. He tells the story of when he did that, come on in, satellite, come on in, satellite. He tells the story how that started. He tells the story of the commercial with Jimmy Petty when he was on a porta potty and got knocked over. He tells some wonderful stories. And we're going to do this tomorrow's show. And I sat and watched it the other night, and I laughed, and I got tears in my eyes, and I laughed again because he's truly an American legend in the Florida, coming from South Alabama. The folks in Southwest Georgia loved him, all through North Florida, and so we're going to do that, and you're going to love it. And the quality is going to be, the quality's not going to be like right now, where I look really pretty and sharp. It'll be sort of fuzzy and all that, but then Lee Sullivan's behind the camera. Lee's talking. Red's trying to talk to Lee. It was just great. And I know Jeff was just trying to keep everything under control, but it is really good, and you're going to enjoy it. So tell your friends and all to watch tomorrow's show because it'll be Panhandle Outdoors with Red Holland. Okay, we'll I'll wrap it up for today. Do something good today, fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.